I was listening to the afternoon show yesterday, and Brian Baldinger was on for his weekly spot. And something he said caught my attention.
What would that be, Joe?
Well, listen to this. And it was really not just what he said, but how he said it. Here's Baldy yesterday on the Eagles offense, what we saw Sunday with them going under center with a lot of success. And are we going to expect to see that again? Here's Baldy.
They've been trying to get Jalen to, go under center and get out of shotgun and do what a lot of these other offenses are doing, a play action pass. And, the throw to Devontae was a max protection, speedo route. And he just ran right by the corner, but he had a 7-step drop. So play action passes under center was a big deal. I mean, Petula was telling me about it before the game, and Saquon was, 7-8 yards deep, and, they thought it would really open up the offense, and it did. And I think you'll see a lot more of it. But that was the real catalyst for it. They had really, they had talked about it, that it's in the offense, but it wasn't something that Jalen is the most comfortable doing, turning his back to the defense. He likes kind of seeing the whole thing, but it really worked, and I think you'll see more of it, as we go forward.
So what he said there is what we all saw, right? They were under center more. It worked, and they hadn't done it before, right? We didn't need Baldy to tell us that. We have all been watching that for years. What caught my attention was they've been trying to get Jalen to do it, as if they wanted to, and he didn't want to. I mean, that was what I kind of heard there, that he wasn't comfortable doing it. And Hugh, a couple thoughts I have on that. One, he better get comfortable doing it if it's good and it works, because that's what the offense needs, and it's what will make this team better. And the second thing I took from that is I expect them to keep doing it. I don't really, frankly, care if it's what Jalen Hurts loves to do. If it is effective, that's what he should want to do, and that's the plays they should call. Hugh, what did you make of Baldy, and do you expect the Eagles to be under center more this week, to continue doing what they started against the Vikings? I do, and I think it'd be foolish not to.
Answer your second question first. No, I don't expect them to be.
Excuse me?
No, I don't expect that to be the case. I think that was done under necessity. When Cam Jurgens went out, I think the offense changed. Now I think there's a hope that that's the case. But Baldy also said something in that cut that really jumped out to me. Jalen doesn't like to turn his back to the defense. And when I think of that, I think of him making it easier for him to read and decipher what's going on. Because think about it like this, Joe. You turn your back to the defense, and then you have to surveil the whole field in a split second. Folks, when a quarterback's back, he has to process a lot of information very, very quickly. And it sounds to me like Jalen doesn't like to do that.
So you're right. The way you framed it is correct. But from my understanding and what it seems like would let's use Jared Goff, let's use the Niners quarterbacks, whoever it is over the years. The idea is if you do it, it will be very defined for you once you turn around. Like someone, if it works, right? Like it worked on Sunday.
Yeah.
It will be there. Like we will get someone open because of the play action look and fake. So while maybe he doesn't love to not see everything, if it works and he turns around, it should be there for him.
Yeah, but a lot of times
that's why teams do it, right?
Yeah, but it's how fast you process the information. Like that's what we're talking about here. It's almost like, for example, like I play Helldivers, right? And I know you guys don't play video games, but anybody that does.
1109 Helldiver reference. I like this.
In order to call down certain stratagems, you have to remember, like back in the day, you go up, down, left, right, BA.
Sure.
To play certain games or whatever. That was a cheat code.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing in Helldivers. And if the aliens are attacking you and you don't put that code in fast enough, you're probably not gonna make it.
So it's kind of. So are the aliens the defense?
Well, yeah, the aliens are the defense, or the insects, if you will. It all depends on who you fight. You might be fighting the automatons, or you might be fighting the squids. It all depends.
What are the giants? They're kind of like squids.
Yeah, the squid. We'll make the giants the squids. Okay. But the point is that if you don't put that code in fast enough, then you're probably going to get murked, and that's probably how Jalen feels. Because when you turn around, you have to see where everybody's going or surveil where you think the holes in the defense are.
Well, that's the downside, but the upside is it works.
Yeah, it does.
Right? There's a reason why Shanahan and McVay and Ben Johnson and all these guys that everyone deems offensive geniuses use play action all the time. So, look, Hugh, I know it was said there, and it was also said in a different way last week. Listen to this. So, you heard Brian Baldinger, and he laid it out, kind of his way. And he was, I believe Baldy, and I think he was referencing, I think Baldy was at the game Sunday, doing the game for Westwood One, so maybe that's what he was referencing, talking about Tulo before the game. Here is Chris Sims a week ago, And this, if you listen to it, sounds a lot like what Baldy said, just in a, I guess, a little more firm way. Here is Sims talking about the offense and what he's heard about it over the years.
I think they realize they can't change anything because their quarterback's just not going to stand for it. As you've heard me say many a times, I watched Nick Sirianni as an offensive coordinator with the Colts. His offense had a million answers. It was awesome. That's why he got the head coaching job with the Eagles. It was like a Shane Steichen type offense. It was, whoa, everything you do, they got an answer. That's not the case anymore. I don't think Nick Sirianni got dumber and forgot how to coach offense. I think, and I've heard this and I know this from people down there that have been there, that are still there, whatever. They're not allowed to change a whole lot on the offensive side of the ball. The quarterback will not stand for it. And because of that, that's why I think you see all these tippy-toe comments from everybody in Philadelphia. Because the truth of the matter is they can't say it. So they have to give you these bullcrap jargon type of things to say, like you said, words, because they're a little stuck in what they can do right now.
All right, so it sounded very much like Baldy. Now, the difference is this past week.
He cleaned that up a little bit.
Well,
he muddied that up. Baldy cleaned it up, though.
And obviously, Jalen was okay with the play action. I mean, it worked. They did it. So we've already broke that seal. I expect more of it. 215-592-9494. We must get calls every week where someone says either I formation or go under center. Right? Like
I formation. That was Will, right?
That's Will.
Yeah.
But we get a lot of that. They should go under center more. They did it on Sunday. It worked. He was 4 for 4 for 121 yards and the touchdown to Devontae. I don't see any reason why they wouldn't do it again.
Well, I do. I mean, are we not connecting the same dots here with what everybody's saying? They're trying to get Hurts under center, Sims, and
but they did, and it worked.
The quarterback doesn't want to change the offense. Yeah, okay. But didn't we just go through this? It was after the Rams game, and it was like, oh, dude, we expect that the rest of the season. Didn't happen, right? And it seems to me like they just went under center totally out of necessity. Cam Jurgens is hurt. Like, if Cam's hurt again, then maybe we'll see them do it.
And he did miss practice yesterday.
Yeah, but I don't know. It feels pretty obvious to me that Hurts doesn't like to do it. So
I don't care.
I don't either. But if you're asking me if I expect to see it more, I can't. If the quarterback is against doing it, then no.
So I hear that, and I get where you're both coming from on that, and what we heard from Baldy and Chris Sims. But now there's actual evidence on tape from the last game they won. It worked. So like this week when they're putting the game plan in, how is he going to push, if he does push back, which sounds like he does, how is he going to push back on these plays?
Well, here's what I can't get around. There's no way you can convince me the coaching staff just discovered magically this week, by accident,
that play action works.
That going under center and play action works.
I know. I agree.
Okay. So, like...
But now they have evidence to show him, we should do this.
Right. No, I agree. But that, look, they have to scheme around the players that they have. They just do.
Or the player has to acquiesce to what works.
He does, but didn't was it last season where Jalen Hurts was saying you might not like the way it looks, but this is how I this is how I like it to look and stuff like that, and
it'll look how I want it to look.
Yeah, okay. I mean, he's the one that has this offense and the scheme by the cojones.
Well, that's true.
I'll say this about that: if that ever comes out and it's true, that's a bad look for Jalen, because when there's a sample size, especially this year, of the evolution and growth of quarterbacks that are his peers. And the thing that it would be an indictment on is him not willing to evolve and grow as a quarterback. And to be honest, if you look at it, folks, the fact that Jalen's the bottom line in the NFL is winning. And that's a fact. You can't that's it. That the bottom line is winning, and Jalen's doing that. But in order to have that sustainability, you have to evolve. So I say all that to say this, that if that's the case, and if he's not doing that, it'll come out sooner than later. It's gonna start to come out, because if these stories are true, then that's not a good look for him.
Yeah, I mean, look, Chris Sims is relaying what he heard. But in Baldy's on our air. That's WIP, him talking yesterday in the afternoon show about the Eagles trying to get Jalen Hurts to go under center. So what my reaction is, what do you mean trying? You call the play. If he's pushing back on these things, okay, maybe and I understand, Hugh, quarterbacks have to do stuff they're comfortable with. They go over the plays with them. They kind of run the stuff the quarterback likes the best. I'm just saying there's now legitimate evidence from the past game, this stuff works. So I expect it. 215-592-9494. We'll throw that in the mix along with the Sixers and Edgecombe's debut last night. Do you expect more under center offense from the Eagles? I mean, they've been primarily a shotgun team for years now, and it's had its ups and downs. A lot of good, but some not great the last year plus. I expect them to go under center. It worked, and I think they'd be foolish, and Jalen would be foolish if he did push back on it. Let's go for it. Let's do it again.